Hi everybody, Laura here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to be a part of the September release blog hop with Pretty Pink Posh. And I have a couple of projects to share with you using some of their awesome new September goodies. So to begin, I have some scrap cardstock. Went through my stash, my little bin of scrap cardstock. Some are Papertrey ink, some are by Sizzix stamp, but I chose what I felt like were autumnal colors. So I went from the yellows to the orange to the reds to the burgundies, and I'm trimming them to a 1/4 inch in width. The length doesn't matter because I'm going to trim that all off. But I have a scrap of a piece of white cardstock, and I covered that with tape runner. And now I'm adhering all these strips together, butting them up as tight as they can be. I was going to call this the strip technique, but then I quickly realized that sounded really inappropriate. You could call it I don't even know if this is a technique. Is this a technique? You're just adhering strips together. But the fun thing about this is you can customize it. So I'm, making a fall one. Obviously I've made a rainbow one. You could do this for the holidays with red and green. You could do masculine. You get the idea. So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of fun things you can do with the old strip technique. Oh, it looks like that name might be here to stay. And you know what? It's all going to stick in our minds, isn't it? Now we're moving on. We've got the Thanks Leaf Shaker die. I'm going to die cut 4 of these onto some white cardstock. The thing I love about this, obviously it was created with shakers in mind. You can make some amazing shaker cards with this, but there's lots of other things you can do. I love that it's got the great leaf shape and the sentiment. And I got some Elmer's spray adhesive here. I'm going to adhere all these die cuts together, stack them up, make it a nice thick dimensional die cut. And I love using spray adhesive for this. It comes together so easy peasy. So once I get all 4 of those stacked together, I'm going to adhere this card together. I put some foam tape on the back of my strippy panel, popping that up, and then a little bit of glossy accents on the Thanks Leaf Shaker die cut. And this is a little bit smaller card, 3.5 by 5, but it sure does pack an autumnal punch, if I do say so myself. And look at that, clean, simple, colorful, right up my alley. Moving on to the second card, going to be using this beautiful autumn wreath stamp set, and I'm going to emboss this large wreath image. So I prepped some Neenah Solar White cardstock with the magic powder bag, inking up that wreath image with Versamark ink, and pouring on some clear embossing powder by Sizzix stamp. Then I'll heat that with a heat gun. And then now to add the color, I'm going to do ink blending. So I'm starting with Altenew inks. I have some mini cubes. I have some full size, just pulling out colors that reminded me of autumn leaves. So I started with orange cream, then a little maple yellow, and then for the green, I have bamboo. So I'm adding some lighter colors first, and then I'll go in with some darker colors to give it that richness and dimension. Now I'm adding a little bit of crimson, which is just knock your socks off bright red. You ever seen those bright red leaves? I'm not even sure what the trees are called, but we have a few in our neighborhood that just burst with the brightest red leaves you've ever seen. Fall is my favorite season. We have 2 enormous oak trees in our front yard, and they are huge. But they don't make the most beautiful leaves, but they do drop a lot of acorns. I mean, they are falling like nobody's biz. And the squirrels are having a heyday. We got the fattest squirrels you ever seen. They're going around working overtime, big fat cheeks, and they're trying to dig and hide all their acorns. So once I got all the ink blending done, taking that coordinating die and going to pop out that wreath image. Now moving on for the sentiment, I'm going to use some Neenah Desert Storm cardstock here. I'm prepping that with a magic powder bag, and I'm going to emboss a sentiment from the Autumn Wreath stamp set in white onto this craft cardstock, which I thought would be a nice contrast to the colorful wreath image. So heating that with a heat gun, and then I will pop up this panel onto a white card base, as well as popping up the colorful wreath image. And then just to finish this card off, I thought I'd add a little shimmer and a little bit of shine. So I pulled out a couple of these new jewels from the September release in the colors raspberry and Marigold. And they've got the various sizes, which I love to be able to use the different sizes. And the colors are so pretty on this wreath. And this card is finished. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure and check out the rest of the Pretty Pink Posh September release blog hop. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.